part 2 with Justin Lawrence and Steven Farag on the Print Hustlers podcast, sharing more about the things that went well and didn't go well this past year and what we're looking forward to in the following year. All right. But real quick, I mean, you know the drill. We've got incredible partners that put this show on every single week with us. Here they are. Easy Way. Easy Way is giving out $250. You guys know the plan. Heading to easyway.com/giveaway enters you in $250 worth of product credit. That's every single month. Easy Way makes reclaiming screens a whole lot easier with their chemicals and equipment. Thanks, Easy Way. GraphX Source. If you need a solution to improve efficiency and reduce costs in your art department, Campus Ink, and many, many others use GraphX Source, who offer industry-leading outsourcing options for your shop and truly are a part of your team. They are the VAs that are handling SEPs, mockup, creative art, order management, digitizing, customer service, and a bunch more. They've been around for over 40 years, too. So hit them up. Give it a try. Printavo Pod 24 for 50% off your first order. Multicraft Daddy. Head to multicraft_daddy. Send him a DM with your email address. He's giving out PMI tape. If you haven't tried it, he's also giving out a ton of other really cool, neat gifts all the time. So shoot him a DM. Multicraft Digital Supplies and Screen Printing. They have been around for over 50 years, providing the industry with top brands at competitive pricing. Plus, on your first order, if you're a new customer, 10% off. You mentioned the Printavo Pod, and it'll get you that 10% off. And make sure you give him a follow. He's doing an awesome job. He's creating so much really cool content of screen printing history, too. That's love to really see that. And last but not least, Stalls. If you're ready to take custom apparel to the next level, Stalls is the leader in heat printing solutions. Whether you're just a small business getting started out or an established brand that's scaling, Stalls makes the hustle easy. Try their DTFs out, 20% off your next order. Use the code HUSTLER20. HUSTLER20, that gets 20% off that next transfer order. Get the equipment, transfers, and just overall support that your business needs by staying ahead. Visit stalls.com and give it a try. They got tons of awesome products there. All right, let's jump on into the episode.
Let's keep going. Justin, what was one of the best memories you had this year, whether it was in your shop, in one of your businesses, could be personal, professional, but yeah, what was one of the best memories you had for the year?
I will stop. I mean, the playoffs. I mean, Oklahoma City, like us winning the championships and getting to wear that badge of honor and be a part of all of those things as a Oklahoman, as a business owner, as a dad, as a husband, as a taxpayer, as a fan, as a human here. It was the most special thing. There was a bombing that happened in 1991 in Oklahoma City, and it like everybody up, and it's traumatic, and it was a really, really terrible thing. But it was something that was crazy. Like it bonded everyone emotionally, like trauma bonding, some call it. And the only thing that's ever felt close to that. It was the championship. And so it was just something that like we all hold. And even right now, I don't know if y'all have been watching the Thunder or not, but they're still pretty good. And like, there's even talkings about like, could it happen again or whatever? And everyone's it's just this like feeling of magic that's around town. And so that's definitely, if I had to point to 2025, like it's been the greatest year for Oklahoma Shirt Company, period. It's been the greatest year financially. It's been the greatest year, like as a business, the things that we got to do. And what's cool is like the financial success and health is not because of the Thunder Championship. Like it plays into that, but it really has been this this crescendo into us really focusing on what it means to have a healthy business and like measuring and taking care of the things that matter. And this year was really the fruits of it. Like what the work that I began 2.5, 3 years ago and really helping us to get healthier, really it all happened in 2025. This will be a very, very special year.
What are some of the things to make the business healthier that you did?
Like things like a few years back, laying off 30% of my friends and retiring bad debt and recovering from like poor decisions that I made for my business or scaling too big, paying off equipment, being more focused about the customers that we're supposed to be serving and versus saying yes to everybody, doing all of those things, like the proper things as a business. It's not super hard. It just takes discipline and it takes focus. And I can't do it by myself. It's my team that's like helping me to focus on all of those things. And so 2025 is like 2026 will be an even better year because it only gets better. We're only focusing more on the things we're supposed to be focusing on. And that has been something that's been really good, especially because 3 years ago, things weren't so great and things were more scary and we weren't as financially sound and set and focused on what we should be doing. And so to have made it through that and to look back at it is something that I'm really, really proud of.
Justin, do you think you were the problem? Like, did you get yourself out of the way?
For sure. For sure. Like,
talk 3 years ago to today, your involvement then versus now and how the business is running.
Yeah, probably like when you're the leader and all you do is win, and when you stop winning and everyone's still looking at you, expecting you to win, and you act like you're still winning and you spend money like you're still winning and you like have visions like you're still winning, when you're not winning, that's hard and that's lonely. And there's not very many people that you can go to. My wife doesn't really understand what I'm going through. Like my coworkers I don't have coworkers. Like when they say the buck stops with you, what that really means, or it's lonely at the top, or heavy is the head that wears the crown. All those things are like wickedly powerful, lonely statements for the people that are really experiencing them when they're experiencing them. And I think how you respond out of those moments of like deep darkness, or when you're lost, or when you feel like your business isn't doing good, or you've got to find money that you don't have, or something breaks that you never planned on, or an employee steals from you, or your spouse does something, or like those dark times, like those are the times when you really have to like stop and look inwardly and ask yourself, like, am I built for this? And you are. But I think how you respond to those things really is truly like the times that you figure out who you are, and those hardest lessons when there's no one else to like, I'm really good at like procrastinating, or like when I'm winning, everything's great. When I'm not winning, I look around and I all of a sudden just want to enclose and get dark and don't want to talk to anybody and want to escape and want to just pretend like everything's okay. I think I'm paying better attention to my books. I was sharing this with my bookkeeper in our meeting last week. Like, I'm paying attention to our books and our things in a much better way because it's exciting to me now. It's exciting to me to see like profitability, and it's exciting to me to see like our gross profit and net profit numbers like changing and getting healthier over time, when it used to be not exciting to me, when it was not great, and when it was not organized, and when it was not a crystal ball, and it was just telling me that I'm not doing well or that I'm not healthy. And so really me just like stopping, acknowledging that I got myself into this mess and I probably can get myself out of it. I just have to stop and start doing that good work.
I think at the same time, though, you were the ones that made the positive choices to right the ship, though, too, right? Like a 30% labor cut, that's very difficult. Only the owner can do that. Paying off, you said bad debt, only the owner can do that. Ideal customer profile, only you could do that. I guess it's two-edged sword or whatever the saying is. By the way, these are awesome conversations that happen in Fabric.Inc groups. As a quick shout out, these are literally things that happen all the time. What do you feel like you enjoyed spending time on the most as an owner this past year?
Man, I have the privilege of like, so Chill next door is a smaller business. I spend a lot of time tinkering in Chill. Like my time in building, I make big messes at Oklahoma Shirt Company now when I get in here and try to like work on it. It's much fun. It's better at Chill because the team is depending upon me. I'm leading the team. I'm failing the team in ways too. But what's fun is I'm getting to take all of those hard lessons that I've learned at Oklahoma Shirt Company and apply them next door at Chill. And like, we're just logarithmically increasing in like operations and profitability. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, cool. I'm going to spend this money right now. Or, hey, this really matters today. And instead, we're going to care about this now instead of like 3 years later realizing like, oh my gosh, if we would have measured this, then we'd have so much more money. And so it's also like I'm getting to watch, like I have a buddy who owns a business in the cannabis space that is one of the best cultivators in the state of Oklahoma, if not the best. And I am not, and my business is not. We've gotten way better over time, but imagine, a print shop, year 3 print shop versus a year 15 print shop. Your reps, much better. So it's cool as my cultivation has wickedly increased quick because we've changed and focused and gotten some things in the right places. I'm watching now my buddies suffer with marketing and sales and design and operations and infrastructure and manufacturing and supply chain and like all the things that I've got to cut my teeth on that are just feel like second nature to me. He's just like, I don't understand why this doesn't work. And like, he was telling me, he's like, have you heard of Monday.com? And I was like, okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about like building a really complicated board game. And so it's been, those are things that like I've got to bring to the table that have been wickedly fun. So that's for me is what I'm spending my time doing is like making that business and that team operationally strong.
What about on the Osco side? Like what do you enjoy or what do you not enjoy the most? Like you are like, you like kind of drained when you, yeah.
On the Osco
that's
side?
a better way of asking.
Right now it's, shifting gears from like quarterback to team owner. Well, at Chill, I am on the field scoring touchdowns, the team, like we're going out afterwards, having a great time. At Osco, hi guys, I'm the team owner. Can I stand on the sidelines and watch the soccer game that y'all are playing right now? My role at Osco is very different than
need you as much.
Correct. I don't have a job at Osco other than like meetings. I'm not like, no one counts on me for anything, which is cool, but it's also like I have literally an L10 and making sure money's in the bank for payroll are my jobs at Osco. And now if I choose to tap in more, we benefit greatly from that. But if I choose to just like let another week go by and I show up for my meeting, then I'm focusing on Chill,
I read something the other day that says you'll truly taste success when you've made yourself irrelevant.
But Justin's like he seems like you enjoy that like building thing because you're talking about Chill and you're like doing all the, you're getting the feeling of the wins, right? Whereas other people are getting the feeling of the wins because they're responsible for it at Osco side, right?
Yeah, but I think I have to figure out how to stay, and I am. Like I need to have a role inside of Osco because if I'm irrelevant, then I'll fall away into the wallpaper. And when owners fall away from their businesses, that's not a good thing. So I need to find some dependencies in me and Osco a little bit. And with some changing of the guard that's going to be happening soon here, I think there will be natural needs of like, I am now becoming this repertoire of this guy's been here longer than anyone and has seen all of the things. And like, this is something that I can help navigate when the waters get icy.
That's interesting. So like, let's say in 2026, what do you think for Osco is the best time spent, like that gets the most value add for the shop? If you were to say, hey, if I spend 10 hours a week on this, it gets a huge return on growing the business from, I don't know, profitability standpoint, let's say.
Yeah, marketing and executive focus. Really just making sure I'm analyzing and looking and forecasting of what's coming and being the guy that's thinking about like marketing and sales. Cause that's just, if I'm not thinking about it or pushing for it, then we don't have someone that's being entrepreneurial in how are we gaining these new accounts?
Like thinking about the next campaign or how we're going to go get this. Okay. Got it. What about you, Steven? What was the most, what did you enjoy the most this past year? And what did you enjoy the least? I think I could guess, but
if you want to guess, go for it.
All right. Enjoyed the least. I would say fundraising.
Raising money.
The next step in the business growth. All the calls and Zooms and emails and pitches and no's and yeses and maybes and follow-ups and all that stuff. And enjoyed the most. I know you really love like the different unique activation type thing. So, obviously the trailer type thing going on right now. Justin, I know you've got some ideas. Maybe is there any tinkering Steven's done this year on the production side?
Man,
Ooh, the new Roland printers just got installed. I'm sure that was fun.
Okay, so my least favorite thing is raising money. It is extremely hard. I have this whiteboard on the back of my door, and it was how many times I had to pitch this year and every rejection I got. And then I said, like, every no is one step closer to a yes. The whole whiteboard is filled. And I think I pitched over 100 times. I think I got rejected like over 95 or so. That started in April and didn't go till September. We're talking like 15, 20 hours a week, nonstop. That was hell.
But you had to do it because had you not, no one else could do it.
And did do it.
It was incredibly difficult. Joy for me is being able to tinker and like invent and work with different teams on like very, very hard things. So it could be like, hey, I want to play in SMS and Klaviyo and nerd out there. And then, I want to work on this DTF thing. But like the last week, I was telling Bruce this last week, I spent a whole week in production. I don't have an office there anymore. I just kind of like sit in the boardroom, but I had a label maker and I was just like labeling shit and making it better and like making all these little 1%. I was like 2-second lean for a whole week. And then I was done and I left and did something else. And so I think joy for me is being able to like go and play and then set it up and then go do something else. And so like, that's kind of my like, I have to be able to play. And if I don't feel like I'm playing a little bit, this isn't fun anymore. And I think like, Justin, you are always playing, it feels like. How much of your time do you think is spent playing versus like operational management, analyzing in meetings, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, play to me is like kicking tires, managing by walking around, a lot of that. Like that's where my ADD brain I'm firing on all cylinders when I get to just walk into production, look around, point out something, then walk into embroidery, then warehouse, then darkroom, then office, as soon as I'm bored or if I sit down or if I just loot, then I just get up and go somewhere. And I'm constantly just tinkering and trying to improve other people's processes or get involved in people's worlds. What are you doing? Or just work next to someone or see what's going on. And I'm doing more of that than, again, like on the chill side than I'm on the OSCO side right now. But that's where I'm finding thrive. And also at chill, I'm in this like spiral of a 2-week, I'm on this like 2-week production clip. So kind of this Groundhog Day, every 2 weeks we have a product release. And so I'm involved in art and in product management, almost production manager and art director. And that keeps me pretty busy.
It's interesting. I feel like any owner listening to your story where they're like, okay, you had a great year financially. You're not really needed in the weeds. You're not on Slack. You're just in the kind of the weekly meetings and able to help point directions and make those higher level decisions is like the goal for everybody who's a few steps behind that. Like they want to get to that. And then on the other side, it's like, that's nice, but like I'm trying to get back to the ground floor. So you're like going literally next door. So chill. So for people that don't know, Oklahoma Shirt Company is in part of this building. The chill, weed store grow facility thing is in the other side of the building. And going over there and tinkering and like, ground floor, whatever, building things back up again is it a grass is greener type situation? Like, can you imagine if you'd look back maybe 10 years ago when you were in a different stage of OSCO that like you'd be happy at this point or is it just, hey, look, this is just kind of what happens and you work yourself out of a role almost?
Happiness is subjective. I think that like for me, I wish I had never, like, I mean this, like really, like I wish I had never done chill, but I found myself in this situation where, I've put so much energy and effort and, whatever into it that I either have to fold or I have to make this great. And, so that took a lot for me. Like that was a big dig deep moment of like, all right, I got to do this one more time. And I'll tell you what, I am broken. My energy is spent. I will not start another business. I do not have it's like children, raising 2 children and having 2 businesses. I have a 10-year-old child and a 12-year-old child. I have a 13-year-old business and I have an 8-year-old business. And it is wicked how they are so similar in there. I guess if you're a good parent and you're taking care of them the whole time and doing all the right things, mostly, their trajectory is very similar. And I don't want to be doing what I'm doing at Chill. It's not life-giving. I'm not like this. It's life-giving in that like I'm happy and I'm content with like where I am in life, and I'm thankful and grateful, and I'm making the best of it, and I'm not suffering, and I'm having a great time. But I do a lot of things that I don't want to do, but I have to, because I want this. But yes, one day when I hope Chill sells or I can do something else with it, I don't want to necessarily sell Oklahoma Shirt Company, but I wish I had more time. I wish I had more margin in my life to tinker on like my family or on my personal. And I have that. I'm in a season of healing right now. Like I have free time, but I'm so used to like just like being busy in my spaces and trying to keep everything in survival and life support mode. I'm trying to heal out of that and take better control of my time so that there's no reason why at 10 a.m. I can't go to the gym. Like I literally can put it on my calendar. No one will challenge that. There's nothing in the way. I have the full support, but my brain is like, I can't go to the gym at 10 a.m. because what if I'm needed here? Or what if there's this? Or what if this person comes by? Or like so I'm taking this year and last year really to heal. What for me personally, like I'm not trying to stir up or start up a bunch of new things. I'm trying to just let both things do what they're supposed to be doing, be present in my children and my wife's life, and do me, but really try to regulate to this. Like I want to figure out now, like this year, what the rest of my next 10 years should look like, because it's not a bunch of new things. It's just more of taking better care of our health, being more intentional with like what we're spending our mental energy on, being more mindful of like my consumption of all of the things, and just trying to be more balanced. And that's what's for me to figure out.
Justin, one big thing that I've noticed you've done over the last couple of years is tried to travel less, like stay closer to home. Can you talk about like what you have tried to do personally as your kids are starting to grow up? Like, you know, we're at trade shows left and right, and now you're like, don't have to. What was that shift for you to stay closer to home more often and just be there?
For sure, it was all multifaceted. Like my children grow up being in the age that they are is very special. My businesses need me in ways that, like, again, I was saying yes to everything. Like you can do anything, you can't do everything. And so I was trying to do everything. I think that trade shows have changed a little bit as time has gone. And all of this has kind of been, I felt like course correction since the pandemic, but instead of calling it that, like just constant evolution. It's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to always be changing. We're supposed to always be evaluating. And so why did traveling? Most of my time was going to trade shows. And why was I going to trade shows? Part of it was I had an employment opportunity, but also I was seeing my buddies and I was building my business and I was building my network. And when I realized that my network building, relational equity that I was building in those spaces had peaked, and I was just spending time and money, and those relationships weren't necessarily getting deeper or richer or more of them, then it felt like I needed to spend that resource of my time being more with my family. And then using the relationships that I developed over the years through the trade show spaces, like with you guys specifically and other industry leaders, like I find those with doing print hustlers, or I find those with going to visit people, or like just more concentrated effort with my time and not saying yes to everything. And there's certainly, the trade shows are a very, very special place. And especially if you're in a season of like building your professional network and looking for your friends and looking for those colleagues, that is the place to do it. And I would not be where I am, and I would not have near the relationships that I had without doing that. So forever thankful, but my season and time and trade show energy has changed. But I'll be at Long Beach. I'm coming to Long Beach and coming out of retirement. And I'm going to be at the Fabric booth, and I'm really excited about it because I love being a part of things that I support. And Fabric is a really cool thing. And it's something that I've watched you guys try to get to build over the years, and we've talked about it, and you guys are finally doing it. And I participate in it. And if you're coming to Long Beach, come see us. If you're not, listen for us. We're going to probably do some activation stuff out there, but Fabric's cool. And the best thing about Fabric is it's taking the heart of what happens at those trade shows and those opportunities. And I'm now in a Slack group with 70 shop owners, and you don't have to go to the trade shows. And these conversations are alive all day long and all week long. And it just is perpetuation. It's great.
And I think to put a ribbon on that, our group that we've built with our coach, who's EOS Traction certified, are the 7 shops that we've become best friends with by going to all these things. And now we're kind of evolving into this next stage. Bruce, what else you got?
I was curious, similar to what I asked Justin, I asked you, Steven, of like, what do you think, like, where do you think your time, okay, hopefully, I guess no more fundraising stuff for 2026. Where do you think you get the biggest ROI time spent? Because I always struggle with this. I feel like I know where the time I needed to be spent, but it's not always the areas where I enjoy spending the most time either. So it's like a weird balance sometimes.
This is interesting. I was just talking to my team about this. So like we are, as the founders, CEOs, whatever you call us, I call like myself like the circus clown. Like I am in the circus and I'm there performing quite a bit. And magically when I put my hands on it, I can make things pop. Right, Justin? Like you have this thing, like when I get my hands in there, I know this thing is going to pop. And so we've been identifying those areas in the business, and that's where I'm spending all my time. So I'm developing right now like a patch bar for headwear, because headwear in collegiate is a little bit behind. And so like I spent a bunch of time on that. I'm developing it. I'm working on it. I do it once. I've got lines out the door. It's going super nuts. I hand it off to someone else and it doesn't do as well. And I was telling my team, like, when you go to a comedy show and you hear a joke and you try to take that joke and tell it to someone else and it doesn't land. And so like right now I am still the main circus act. And so until I'm able to hand different things off, I have to sort of be out there on the front line. So one of those things is, when I can get in front of schools and I can be with their athletic directors, or I can be in front of Dick's Sporting Goods, or I can be the one, doing it because I can have the biggest impact. Put me in a room with Dick's Sporting Goods for an hour, and I think I can make a huge impact. So that's what we're like trying to identify now is where does the Cirque du Soleil clown need to be, or the trapeze artist?
Cirque du Soleil, Steven.
But what I've found is that's actually what also gives me the most joy, and they are bigger, harder things. And so, yeah, I'm gonna take a trailer around the country. I'm going to put a DTF machine in it. I'm going to try to print inside stadiums, and that is my circus act. And I have to be in the ring until I can productize it and make it work. That's where I got to be. So no different, Justin, with you and the Thunder, right? Like that is your account. You are talking to the Thunder, right? So that's where I'm trying to spend the most of my time on and obsessing over it a little bit. So yeah, there we go. I told the world what I'm doing. It's pretty fucking stupid. Everyone has said it's pretty stupid.
Hey, someone's got to do it, Steven.
It's not just that though, but those are those things too that if you look back, like, especially if it does work or it opens certain accounts or, you can replicate it across other colleges, it always feels probably weird at first, but it's hard to tell until the story's fully told.
How many heat presses are you going to have in that trailer? And how are you going to power it?
Oh, we are powering. You don't even know.
I don't. I want to know.
We're going to have generators, electric battery packs from like that charge whole houses that can run refrigerators. We are going to put solar panels on the top of it. We are insulating it because of temperature. It's got to have humidity control.
Ideas. It's getting better. It's getting better by the moment.
It's and I'm going to try and build it publicly, which I'm not like a content person. It is the stupidest, craziest, dumb idea. Like, yeah, you could bring heat presses and pop up, but how sick would it be if you could have a Hot Market shirt printed with the score of the game outside the stadium the second the game ends? So a lot of things. We got to be on the road in February.
Oh, so that's a hard date. You're like a trucker.
Dang.
Yeah. But you know what? My business partner, I give a lot of credit to him. He's twice my age. He's just like, look, if you take a risk, you make two bad decisions a year. If you don't take a risk, you still make 2 bad decisions a year.
I love that video you posted too. He's like, Worst case, a little storage behind the shop.
Fill it full of cardboard.
Yeah.
Put it by the dumpster.
Justin, what do you like if you left Osco, wasn't in any type of meetings, didn't get texted for 2 weeks, what would happen?
Would be fine.
No issues. All right, 4 weeks.
Probably still be fine.
Where's the cracks?
60 days. 60 days, I think, starts getting. Do I get to like still pay bills and make sure money and stuff's there and like look at all that?
Yeah, you can log in. You can log in and look at something for an hour a week.
60 days, it would start to like
what part of the business?
I think in my leadership, it would start there. Like people would just start caring a little less and start letting some things slack. And like one or two key players would start getting overwhelmed and feel unsupported. And then I think then the questions of like, what the fuck is he doing and where is he at would start really settling in. But I will know one day. I owe my wife some like restitution's not the right word, but like I had some makeup trips. Our 10-year wedding anniversary, we went to London and Paris for 2 weeks, and it was a shit show because I was just on the phone the whole time. So I have a 2-week trip in my future where I completely am looking to unplug. Never done that. And then a true sign of health will be a 30-day unplug at some point in the next 2 to 3 years. I want to do that. Chill would catch on fire and would never work.
I went to Australia for 2.5, 3 weeks in August, and
to run the marathon
and ran a marathon. Yes.
Yeah.
And I went solo. I did a solo trip, and I have an amazing team around me. For the first 3 days, I was so like, I literally could not, I kept checking my emails. I would like log on at night, check in with people. And I think our CFO was like, dude, just delete Slack and email. Like, we got this. And half of it was myself. Like I was just, he's like, you're making everyone else stressed out. And I think a lot of it was just like, it wasn't them, it was me. And so I think a part of it. And then after I did that for the first day, I was like, okay, haven't checked anything. Don't know how our sales are doing. Haven't checked Shopify. And then the next day and the next day. And by like day 5, it was fine. But the first 3 days were hell. And so I wonder, Justin, if everyone kind of like Lord of the Flies, they wouldn't kill each other, but they would self-regulate. Someone would rise up. They would make the right decisions. I wonder if that would happen, because I feel like you've got a pretty killer team around you.
It would. And certainly the more I set them up for success, the better it would be. It'd be one thing if like I stepped out and got hit by a truck and got put in a coma for 6 months and then them and my wife had to figure it out, or if I just disappeared. But I think if I asked like, hey guys, I want to step away for 2 to 12 weeks. Could you guys hold this together? They totally could. Was
there a key role? Doesn't have to be a person particularly, but like a role in the business over the last, let's just talk about this year, 2025, that, really helped either grow or stabilize the business? And if not this year, then maybe it's the last 3 years.
I mean, definitely like, I can't stop the EOS traction, like the integrator role, letting my operations manager. Often I think we find ourselves, I'll speak for myself as a business owner. When you build something from scratch, it felt really good to name someone like my production manager and like, you're my art director. And now you're my operations manager and you're my customer care manager. And you manifest these things and give people these titles that feel good, but if you really look outside in the other world, like so many of these people are not doing the functions of like a true operations manager or like a true like controller or like a true like whatever a sales professional. So I think reading the handbook of EOS and letting my operations manager realize like, oh, your job is actually an integrator. And here's what an integrator does. And here's how their relationship with the visionary is. And here's the teams and here's the structure. Like that was wickedly stabilizing for like our organization to bring our integrator in. And my meetings used to be, my weekly leadership meetings were like the cowboy shootout of like, what kind of mood is Justin in? What went wrong this week? How much money do we have right now? And is this going to be creative and fun, or is this going to be ass chewing and everything and maybe both at the same time? my meetings and my recklessness of leading it, that all going away and giving the power to the integrator and letting them like lead that. And me being this advisor role was wickedly stabilizing. So letting the integrator cook was the move.
Steven, let him cook. You say that a lot. What about you, Steven?
It's really funny. I work with some of my closest friends in the business that I have the privilege of compensating well and all that stuff. And the feedback they gave with me is, we don't know what kind of Steven we're going to get every day. And I was just like, damn. We run our weekly traction meeting. Watson runs it with his agenda, and I have about 5 minutes to be on my pedestal. And then I go back to my little hole. Because on Monday, I'm this. On Tuesday, this. Wednesday, we owe S&S $100,000, and I'm in a bad mood, right? And, you know, like we wear our emotions on our sleeves, and we're not necessarily like these CEOs that we're supposed to be every day. The one thing that I found, Justin, you said this best, is defining who the integrator is. We call them sled pushers. Like, who pushes the sled here? We could put all these things in motion, but who's going to be the sled pusher? And who's going to push the sled and make sure it follows up, and who's going to own it? And so there's different things where one person on our team is really good at opening a relationship, but they're not good at following up. They're not good at communication. So we'll call it out and be like, hey, who's pushing the sled on this one? And we'll say like, it's my sled, I got it. Or nope, Watson's going to push the sled on this one.
And they own that project or whatever.
Yeah.
Until it's done.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be the highest leader in your company. It's really identifying who have sled pushing characteristics that you know with confidence. Like our production manager, Mila, she's been with the shop since she was 18. She's only 26, 27 years old. I know with confidence that when she puts something in motion, it will get done and I don't have to follow up. So she is a sled pusher here, right? You don't have to follow up. But there could be people, in higher ranks than her that aren't good sled pushers, right? And so I think it's identifying who those people are. And then it's so much more fun because you can just coach them, but you have this like trust that it's going to get done. So that was a big thing for us this year.
Do you try to not give yourself or not be the sled pusher for anything? Because I find that's easy to pick up. I'll just do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, I more often than not let people down because I've taken off more than I can chew, or I'm doing it my way. Like, I'll just do it this way. And then it's like, shit, it's Friday morning. I haven't done that yet. And so whether it's building presentations, catalogs, something that is a project that's going to take several weeks, I can be a part of the team, but I can't be a dependent, like a super dependent part about it. What about you, Justin? Where do you let everyone else down?
For real. I constantly, if someone reaches out to me like, I'd love to get some t-shirts ordered, I like to think that I'm a decent account executive or a t-shirt maker. I am so bad, but I'm the person that people reach out to the most. And I tell my friends, it's my privilege to work with you and get to help you bring your shirt to life. And then I end up just dropping the ball. So yeah, anytime there's a dependency upon me, you can count on me not doing it. Because it's just, and it sucks. But it's just because I have so many things and somehow the strategy works and yet it doesn't. Like it's why I'm unemployable. If I worked for somebody, I would be fired because I would just tell them I would do all of these things and somehow 125% of them would get done, but not what they wanted me to get done. And so that's where I try to like not have dependencies upon me.
But I'll give like I'm going to give a real example of something that happened this last week. Our shop sends a bunch of embroidery to Oklahoma Shirt Company to help us out. Our teams work together. Mila's sending something over to your team. They're kind of firing back and forth. And I'm CC'd on stuff. Justin's CC'd on stuff. And we're sort of in the background. And, Mila comes to me and goes, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. And it was, hey, Justin, do you guys think you're going to be able to do it? He fires back, I think we can, but we need X, Y, and Z. We tell our teams, go back and get to work, and then we leave the situation, right? Now, we might drop the ball. They might drop. You guys don't drop the ball. You're really good. But that's like a perfect example of where we need to step in and then step out. So it can be done. It happens all the time.
There has to be... there's so many people that get so caught in the flow of like, this is how the game works, and this is how the reps, and this is what normal is, and anything outside of the normal, most of the time people don't see or they don't respond to it well. And so that is kind of our job too, is like be plugged in enough so you see it, but also, you know, have your ear to the ground and have a pulse on the organization so that you can call out when there's an arrhythmia, or you call out when something, it feels like out of balance or doesn't work well. And then you are there to get it back.
Wrapping this, I want to, have you guys thought about like 5-10 years down? Like, Justin, if you thought about, okay, you know, I know traction, part of it is thinking about 10 years and breaking it down into one and so on. Have you thought about Oklahoma Shirt Company in 10 years? Like, is that exciting, or is that like, hey, I'd love to get family more involved, like a legacy type thing, or, you know, my goal is actually to sell at some point, or what does it look like for you?
I think I can continue refining this business where I could hand it to my children if they wanted to. Building myself out of a job where I used to be a unicorn that was breeding unicorns, that was like making unicorn magic happen. And as I figured out this over time, like that's what's cool is I don't need unicorns anymore. And actually unicorns are disruptive, and unicorns aren't focused, and unicorns also aren't real. So having a team of like building a business that isn't so dependent upon someone being able to pull a rabbit out of their hat is something that I could hand to my kids. But I also think it takes a really special person to operate businesses like ours. And I wouldn't necessarily wish that for them, but if one of them wanted to, I would help them. I also would love to sell Oklahoma Shirt Company. I'd love to sell Chill. Also, I would love to operate these businesses until I die. And that to me is kind of, that's my ultimate like North Star, is I want to get them completely ready to sell by every person's advice. Like, if you're in this profitable and your EBITDA is this and you're doing that and you've whatever, those are all the things I want to get. So that way, that's just my like A+ report card of, if I'm going to maintain these businesses and keep them going, then they're really healthy and really sustainable, and you've done a good job.
So you have the option if you want.
Yeah. I have two things I want to show you guys on my desk. Eskimo Joe's, they're a screen printing company in Oklahoma. Like the real kind of OG screen printers in Oklahoma, Eskimo Joe's Promotional Products. They sent us a Christmas gift this year. It was really awesome. Thank you, Eskimo Joe's. But look at this. This is a cassette tape. And it's a cassette tape. Like, so they just printed like there, it looks like an old cassette tape, but when you open it, it is a Bluetooth speaker. But it's stickers, like it's a piece of hardware that you can buy that you could decorate yourself, but then you could get your own stickers and put it on. But you could make a playlist, or you could put like a message to your customer. But it just came in something that was like super nostalgic, and it's USB, and I'd never seen this before. And it's just like, dang, that's really sick. So good job, Eskimo Joe's. Promotional Product of the Year from Justin Lawrence.
Holy crap.
Goes to them.
That beats Brett at Printed Threads' paper plane and key. I thought those were really cool, and this is like, whoa.
Damn, I thought ours crushed. You guys haven't gotten ours. I don't even want to try. That was pretty cool. All right, our theme this year for our holiday gifts was everything you didn't know we made. And so they got like a JBL speaker, a mouse pad, a chip clip, because no one throws those away. Always keep a chip clip. And a basketball hoop.
I'm stealing that next year, by the way. Everything you didn't know we made. That's brilliant.
All right, pronouncers. Well, first of all, thank you, Justin, for being able to share so much at Oklahoma Shirt Company. I think you're one of the favorite, like we always get messages after, like, yes, a Justin episode. So thank you for being able to always share. Steven, thank you for sharing. And hope you guys have an awesome rest of the year. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thanks so much for listening. Hopefully that was informative. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications if you enjoyed this video. If you enjoy all the stuff we're putting out, it's really helpful. We love to just be able to see it. That means that we're doing a good job. To subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and hit the like button. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.